Wonderful morning, excellent afternoon, magnificent evening for all those out there in Cyberland watching MindPlore with Carla and Friends. Today, I have the honor of having Aliki Ko, which is a nickname for her because she has a very long Greek name. She'll introduce herself in a moment. We have Huma Tariq here, and Shivali S. I don't know her last name. And we are going to be talking about living the golden rule. And the golden rule is basically do unto yourself as you would do to others. Many of us are kind to others, but then when we come to ourselves, our self-talk is, I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not handsome enough. When we say that, we're creating that in our world. And we need to move our world. If you want a happy world, we need to move that self-talk, because each of us are individuals. Each of us are separate and different from anyone else in the world. And we are perfect as we are. And because we are perfect as we are, there's nothing wrong with any of us. We're just wonderful. But we don't say that to other people. We don't tell other people that we're perfect. We say, oh, they compliment us on some clothing, and the first thing we may say, oh, this old thing, or I'm not sure if I like this thing, but I got it anyway for whatever reason. Forget that. You bought it because you loved it and you looked good in it, or you felt you did. Stop being mean to yourself. Be kind to yourself, and then you can begin to be kind to others. And this show we'll be talking about it, and we have girl power today. So we're going to be talking from a woman's point of view. Thursday we'll have some men, and let's see where it goes. And I'd like to start with Huma. Huma, can you introduce yourself? I know you know the people here, but we don't know who's watching.
Thank you, Carla, for having me in the show. Hello, everyone. I'm Huma Tariq. I'm from Pakistan, Karachi, and I work in Rehan Foundation as a officer of Rehan training. And our focus is to digitally literate everybody and remove poverty from the world. So here we are in the show. I hope you enjoyed the show today.
I want you to talk about the topic, please.
Right. I think that was essential to talk about it, because sometimes we are too kind with ourselves. Like we are sometimes selfish with ourselves and not with and too kind with others. When I read about it and realized that there are two perspectives of the topic of the golden rule. Some writers say that choose what you choose yourself, choose for exactly the same for others. And some say what you choose for others, choose for yourself. And I think that both are synchronized. What you cannot choose for, how can you be kind with others if you are not kind with yourself? We can put it this way. In other words, we can say that you cannot fill others' cup with your empty cup of tea. So if your own cup, if your kettle is full, only then you can fill others' cup. Only then you can show kindness. So yeah, there are many perspectives. I don't. It depends on culture and depends on circumstances a person face why we are not kind with ourselves. Um, And I think it's just a matter of empathy. If we don't see others as a soul like yourself, or or vice versa, if we don't see ourselves as the same soul as the like the other person, we don't do the justice. Let's take for an example. Let's take, if I need to give a present to my friend, and if I'm not choosing the same present, the same thing that I can choose for myself, and I choose a cheaper one for my friend, it means I'm not being kind for myself too, because I am not seeing her as a human being too, as a soul. Or sometimes we do quite the opposite. We choose the best for our family, for our kids, for others, but we get by uh, with the cheaper ordinary things for ourselves. We said, okay, I'll manage with that, okay, I'll manage with this thing. So we don't we are not kind with ourselves, we don't put ourselves first. So in both ways, I think we should keep both the sides equal. It just requires just a little, and where not to choose.
You were breaking up. Can you say the last few lines again that you were saying?
Sorry, yeah, I actually started getting a call, that's why. I said that it requires a little bit of wisdom when and where we need to be, what kind of kindness we need to show to the person or with ourselves.
Okay, so how can we improve the situation? How can we teach ourselves to be a little kinder?
Right. Um, it depends what we are, if we are talking about any tangible thing or untangible thing. For example, if I committed, uh, if I said, okay, Carla, I'll be in the show, or I said I give an appointment to somebody and the person is waiting for me, and I said, okay, right, I will be going next time, I'm not in mood to go. It means I should stop there for a while and ask myself, am I ready to get the same experience for myself later? If I will not fulfill the commitment with with the other person, the same will reverse and come to me. It can come to me later someday. So whenever we face any situation, whether it's tangible or untangible, same goes with gifts, same goes with anything for your family. You need to ask yourself, be conscious and mindful. Am I be happy? Will I be happy when I get the same experience for myself? And a lot of wisdom is required. For example, if I need to buy a gift for Carla, and if I know that what I choose for, I should choose for her what I choose for myself. And I wear shalwar kameez, I wear my traditional dress, so I will buy the same dress for her, but it will be of no use for Carla. So that moment, I should think that what Carla wants actually, what her likes and dislikes. So I should respect her the same way as I respect myself. So I need to pick what she likes, be kind with her as I be kind with myself. As I said, fill your own cup first.
Okay, thank you. Aliki, what is your take on the topic? And you don't need to be muted, Maliki. Everyone can be on.
Yeah, I prefer to be muted because sometimes I have interesting sounds happening around me and it might
Oh,
overlap with the other person's voice.
okay.
Um, it's a very interesting subject, actually, the one that you picked. And it's mostly because what I have been experiencing lately, and another point of view, is practically the layers of understanding of kindness and how deep are we really being kind to ourselves. Because if we are not kind to ourselves, we are fake kind to the others around us. Practically, it's not like felt. And many times it can come out, it seems like kindness, like the action seems like kindness, but the energetics, the energy behind it, it's felt differently. So many times we're like, why this person is reacting like that? Because I have been so kind to them. But in the end, if we go a little bit deeper into observing the intentions, the motives, the reasons, and seeing how we have been doing the same to ourselves or not, then we understand why the person had this reaction. That might not be what we thought would be for what we are expressing. It's a very interesting subject. Mostly because I would like to raise like another question, like the opposite question. If we are ready to accept that maybe we are not always this perfect, good, kind person, maybe we do have moments that we are not this person also. Like, what does that bring to our awareness? How can we be more than one label in ourselves? Because I kind of feel that many times we almost squeeze ourselves to be under a specific label we believe is good. But in the end, because we don't allow other options to happen, it feels entrapping, even if it's a good attribute, because it's not chosen every single moment. And I like to see life as a very full experience. I have stopped believing that there's good or bad ways. I believe that the universe needs both. It just in some lives we choose one, in some others we choose another. If we are talking about kindness, probably in some other life we have chosen not to be kind, all of us that we are here. So it's a very interesting byproduct to really accept these other parts of ourselves as real also, because then we can also understand people who are not kind, why they're not, and not really blame. Don't not put a finger on, oh, you're not being kind, and really understanding where that's coming from. So for me, like, kindness goes beyond the action, goes really into non-judgment, into really not judging even somebody is behaving very badly, going into this deep compassion of understanding that for some reason this soul wants to experience this kind of experience in that particular moment in life. And for me, the real kindness is where we can go down there and really accepting all of it.
How do you define kindness?
I would define kindness as an action, word, or an energy stream that has a positive impact in the one that we are addressing. It can be ourselves, it can be somebody else as well. I don't put a specific person. But I kind of feel that kindness is this gentle hand that is just caressing you during that action. Has a gentleness in it, and has a layer of care that is being transmuted.
Okay. We did get Asma here, which I'm very excited about because she was having some internet issues. Asma, do you know the topic?
Yeah, I know it, and I was prepared, but at the last moment, as you know.
Okay, so what do you want to say about kindness? And being kind to yourself as well as being kind to others.
Exactly, that's very important. What you said, we often kind to others because that's what we were taught, being like since our childhood. Like, be nice with others, be kind with others. But one thing which we don't teach, and that is be kind to your own self. And this is hardly, I think, we preach. So this is very important, because I, honestly speaking, I would say that I always kept myself in our judgment. I judge myself a lot, and that's become a habit since childhood. For everything, if you recently, if you do a shopping and you have to be judge yourself, am I wrong or right? Then if you eat something, if you said no to someone, so you always judge yourself, and you always just treat yourself the way might be really wrong, and you need to be very kind with the others. But where you need to be kind with others, you need to be, remember, you need to be kind with your own self, because this is the one thing, as I said, it's become my habit since childhood. Now it's really become very difficult for me to deal with that and to recover that. Now I'm trying to work on that, that I don't need to judge myself every time for everything. For every reason, I don't need to judge myself. I need to be kind with myself. That's very important. I need to be, sometimes I just need to forgive myself. That happens. Uh, but yes, this is very important. And I am working on that. As we said, it's because we were taught it's selfishness. When you are kind to yourself, it's kind of a selfishness. But honestly, yes, little bit selfishness is okay. This is gonna work, because if you are okay, if you are happy, honestly speaking, you can treat others in a good way when you are happy internally. If you are feeling happiness internally, then you can like spread that happiness in your surrounding. But if you're suffering and suffocating inside, then it becomes difficult even to treat others wonderfully. So it's really, yes, it's important to be kind with yourself. Sometimes you really need to forgive your own self, because you are also human. You do mistakes like the other do, and when and you forgive them. Similarly, you have to forgive yourself, and you are going to be make mistakes even in the throughout your life, and that's the life.
Okay. Shivali, what do you want to say for the
Okay,
topic?
thank you, Carla. Well, I think Huma, Aliki, and all of you have actually said a lot. The words which came striking through were respect, love, kindness, and self-love. Okay, so these are some of the layers that we are speaking about. Now, if I look at the concept, the topic itself, that live by the golden rule, well, it applies both ways, right? Like if you look at the ancient text, whether it's the Vedic text, whether it's the Bible, whether it's the Chinese philosophy, they have been speaking about the golden rule. So if you look at that interpretation, which says that, do unto others as you want them to do to you, and vice versa. Okay. So our ancient scriptures have been speaking about it. But the question is that are we living by this rule of justice, love, respect? We aren't. If we were, then the world wouldn't be what we are witnessing today. And when I say today, it's not just today, this year. It's the past 50 years and the next 50 years which are coming. Because it's all related to our consciousness. What kind of consciousness we have when we are dealing with ourselves and with others. So if you're talking in terms of the golden rule, I think it's time we rethink on it, because the scriptures are systems, irrespective of the country, the background that we are coming from. It doesn't really matter. It's about the consciousness, and somehow we as human beings are breaking the harmony which already exists in the universe. So I think this is a very beautiful topic which has come up, where it is teaching us not just about loving ourselves, but loving others also, looking upon everyone with kindness. So this is the way I look at it.
I'm asking you this first, but I'm going to go around to everyone. We tend not to love ourselves. We tend to put ourselves last instead of first. Hence, we say yes when we want to say no. We say, okay, I will listen to you. And it may be someone we don't want to even talk to. We don't want to have anything to do with. How can we call that being kind to the world, or being kind to ourselves.
Yes, Carla, that's a very good what should I say, point to be noted. That see, the perceptions are also different. What may be kindness to me, or what I feel is good, may not be seemingly good to the other person. This is also to be noted. What I feel that I like, Huma gave that example of, like, she wants to purchase a salwar to me because she feels it's the best. But then what does Carla want? What would she be happy with? So here, it's about the perception actually. What I feel may be good for someone else, that person may not perceive it like that. So yes, you are right. I agree with you that sometimes, the tables can turn also. And yes, we were never taught self-love. Unfortunately, we are always told to sacrifice, to go forward. But self-love is something which I think in recent times, with the new age theories, etc., coming up, the concept of self-love has come up. Earlier times, I don't think we really spoke about, at least not in our families. It's all about doing things for others. So yes, it's to be thought of.
So if we're doing things for others all the time, Aliki, are we really being fair to ourselves? Think of a mom who may have 4 or 5 kids, and her first thing is to be, oh, I need to do this for my children. I need to do that. And then she doesn't get any rest. She doesn't get any time away from the kids. Is this good or not?
Let me change a little bit the perception about that. We know by science that every time we victimize ourselves, we get a shoot of serotonin, meaning every time we put ourselves to become a victim, practically we receive the happiness hormone in our chemical system. So it might seem that we're sacrificing for the other and doing everything for the others, but in the end, we are doing it because we are addicted to the feeling of being a victim. So we're not really doing it for the others. It's just easier to say that we're doing it for the others, and it makes us feel good. It makes our ego say, oh my God, I'm a good person. I'm sacrificing myself for the others. When at the same time, your system is getting a serotonin shoot. Like, what a sacrifice, right? Whoa, don't sacrifice so much. So I really want to see, like, twist a little bit the concepts. It's more difficult to deal with our own things than to deal with the things of the others. That's why we go and help everybody, because we just don't want, it's difficult to deal with our own shit. Sorry for the word, but that's how it is. So it's like, it's almost like an excuse of not really fixing our own lives, because that's more difficult. Because it is more difficult. We cannot see it so clearly. We can see more clearly for the others. We always know what is good or what's bad for the others. It's more difficult to see it for ourselves, right? It's just too close to us, so we cannot see it. It's like here. We're too close to us. So it's more about just realizing that we are escaping of what we are really supposed to do here, but by always believing that we are just serving others. And we better just start saying how we can serve this human being first. And that has nothing to do with being selfish, right? For me, our bigger purpose in this life is actually to actualize ourselves first. Because if we become the more we can be, it's the best way we are serving anyway. That's our real service, to become everything that we came in this life to be. But if we don't take care of becoming this person, we will not become. So we are really not serving anybody in the end. We're just going there and spreading and sharing our energy in places that might as well happen exactly in the same way, or even better if we're not there.
Growing up, we have always been told by parents, or at least in my case, by my parents, you should be doing this, Carla. You should be acting like in a certain way, and I'm going to sneeze any moment, but so do we really know what our purpose is and what we are supposed to be doing? Are we really being kind to each other? I know I always compared myself to my sister who's much older than me. And it put me in, I found everything wrong with me. Was that a good thing to do? When does this start?
So the real question is that it's like we have a way that we've been taught, and we can very easily continue doing the same way that our parents did, our relatives did, what everybody told us that it's a good or a bad way, right? But the difference that we have as an animal is that we can stop and consider if that's really the way we want to do or not. It's not necessarily good or a bad way, it's just a choice, right? If that's something that is us or is just something we are carrying on our shoulders because somebody told us. So for me, that is what it really means to grow up, to really stop and choose which of the things that you're doing automatically you want to continue doing because they're really serving you, and which not, you just have to let go because your parents taught you because they also thought it was the best way to go in their perception. And it might have been for them. It might have been an amazing way to go for them, right? But you're not the same person and you're not a child anymore. So it's like, let's really grow up. Take responsibility of everything that we do because they're not telling us how to live life anymore. We are not 5 or 10 years old anymore. We are not this person. So now, if you're repeating patterns, it's your choice to repeat them because it's easier.
Right. What do you think, Huma?
I completely agree with Aliki Ko and Shivali and Asma, and I reflected to so many incidents suddenly in my life. As Asma said, we are so judgmental with ourselves. We judge continuously with our actions, whether it's external, whether it's internal. And when we go deep down into it, when we realize that, I think, and I want your views in it also. I think the media and the teachers has glamorized pain a lot. Like when you give, you will get. I agree with it, but there is a balance in everything, right? Balance should be there. But we have attached the happiness by giving a lot. When you give, you'll feel happy. When you give, you'll have this. You'll give, da da da. You will give, da da da. There's no, there's very less amount of lessons in taking too, and it's embedded in our mind. It's a condition, and I think it's more with the media and with the parents also. Here, I want to add it, and I could see my mother. I hope most of you can reflect. I never saw my mother really expressing how she's feeling, right? I whenever it is festivals or any incidents, like any party, when we go to shopping, my mother always used to put ourselves first. There are 5 of us, and I hope all of you can relate that mothers always think about others first, like kids, husbands, relatives, and in-laws. Da da da. I should do that. I should get. And we make our mothers as a role model, and we make teachers and the elders who teach the same way. I'm not saying they have done bad, as Aliki Ko said. They did what they felt they did right, but there is balance in everything. And as soon as when we realize that we were in a wrong pattern, the pattern wasn't correct, we have been unkind with ourselves and we try to change ourselves. Now that is a big task. If we feel we are dying, it's hard to say no. And I still feel hard to say no, even when I feel like saying. So I think we have glamorized the pain a lot, glamorized giving too much. giving too much. That's what I feel.
I agree with you. All my life I was told, do this, be like Vivi, be like my sister. Oh, why can't you do that like your brother? And instead of saying, but I'm not my sister, I need to be me. I am not my brother, I'm me. And all our lives, well, at least my life, I've been criticizing myself because I'm not like my sister who's 10 years older than me. I am not like, oh, I don't know why I thought of Oprah Winfrey, but I'm not Oprah Winfrey too. And I'm not going to become them. I can only be Carla. And I think we need to learn to trust that what we do is perfect for who we are. Does that kind of resonate with you, Huma?
It does. It completely does. And when we go more deeper into it, why we are unkind, and why, even if we see any unkind person in front of us dealing somebody unkindly or us unkindly, and when we analyze their life and we go deep down, we find there is an incident or trauma that's still there, like an injury fresh, that make them still like what is inside, it's always inside out, right? They have still an unkind person with themselves, who are judging themselves. That's why they resonate, they still doing the same, and it goes to generation and generation. It runs in our blood, and we do the same thing with our kids. And it's just like I said to myself that if I like studying business, for example, I will not force, or even if I like arts, for example, I will not force it to my kids, because I liked it for myself, I liked it, and I like that person, so you should do the same because you are my child, right? So we transfer the same trauma from generation to generation, and it keeps going like this.
Okay. Asma, what do you think?
I agree. Yes, we and basically pain is actually very fascinating, because honestly you love, somehow you enjoy the pain and you enjoy the sorrows. It has also its own kind of enjoyment, fun, if you do, because I feel that too, and I did that kind of practices too, just to, as Aliki said, they are a chemical release and that makes you happy. So you do that kind of things, and just to make yourself happy, because it's difficult. As it's difficult to heal, it's difficult to treat with the things that are actually affecting you, and that is your real pain. But as Huma Weir ended, like, we actually transfer the pain from generation to generation. This is actually the alarming thing, and I am really, because I really involved with that and I face that. So yes, and you know why that happened? Why someone transferred their pain? Because insidely they are not happy. Insidely they suffered a lot. Uh, they victimize themselves, and it becomes easy after some time. When you live in pain, it becomes easy to live in pain. It's very challenging to come out of that. It's very challenging to heal yourself. It's easy to say others be happy, but that's why these kind of lectures and these kind of things doesn't work, because we are just saying, we are actually we are just shifting our mind to in others lives and saying them you should be happy and giving the lectures, but insidely we know a lot of when you work with a lots of the speakers, a lot of them, you feel the pain in their own lives, but they are just transferring themselves to the others, and they are coming as they are healing the world. It's because I am working on healing my own pain, and I know it's very challenging. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to face your childhood traumas. It's very difficult to recall them. It's very difficult to overcome with them. It's very difficult to live in the same circumstances, to the surroundings. It's very challenging. So yes, because when I said let's heal, so the voice I listen is that it's not easy. As Aliki said, it becomes it's easy to live in the pain. But why this happened? Because you didn't choose your happiness. Why you transfer the pain? Why you are living in pain? Because at some time when you have the opportunities, you didn't choose your own happiness. You try to sacrifice. You said let's sacrifice, and somewhere else might something happen, and then I choose something else. So you actually, life give everyone some kind of opportunities, but somehow we sacrifice. We said let's like just ignore this one, and let's see, some might be we get something else, and might be some bigger opportunity. So I just want to say, oh, always keep your arms open and grab the opportunity, whatever comes in your ways. Don't just wait for the bigger one. Yes, you will get the bigger ones in your of further life, but once you have started your life, then people are not happy in their inner selves, then they transfer the pain to the other generations. And this is my challenge. I don't want to be like, I don't want, my biggest challenge in this life is that I actually make a goal of my life. I don't want to transfer, I don't want to be a victim in my own life. I don't want to transfer my pain. I don't want to tell my kids this story of my sacrificing. I don't want to tell them. I just want to tell them whatever you wanted to do. I want to tell them that I did this. Might I made mistakes? Might I did something through blunders? But I did that. I don't want to show in front of you that I'm a very good mother. I'm a very good person. I'm a very good sacrificing human being. Because when you tell them, honestly, I listen these kind of stories, and insidely you feel very pain for the other person. But that pain might be that person after some time get healed, but that pain in your mind stays throughout the life. I still remember all the stories of my childhood where I listen, where the people told their sacrificing stories, their pain stories. They might get healed. They are now happy, but I'm not, because I still remember these stories. I still feel their pain. I still can see their pains. So yes, choose your happiness is the first thing. If you're happy internally, then honestly speaking, you're happy and you are on the right, you are satisfied, then you can deliver the same thing to the others. And then that can work. Otherwise, all these things are just lectures and just the talks.
I'm here. I'll be back in a second.
Okay. Asma, I think, this last section of yours, actually, whatever Carla was speaking and the others, I can relate it to my life. I don't want to get into all that. But what you mentioned just now, Asma, it's a choice. It's about, you see, consciously, subconsciously, there's a certain pattern. You call it karmic or whatever you want to call it. It's been coming down the ages, okay, from generation to generation. But you see, if you have that consciousness, somehow you realize anything can be a trigger. Anything can be a trigger, which makes you suddenly sit up, which makes me suddenly sit up. And I realized that, well, I have a choice. I can make a choice. Do I want to wallow in the same kind of pity and self pity, which I've seen in my mother or the previous generation, or do I want to change myself? I think it's a choice that we can make. I made a choice in my life. I made a choice in my life, and as you said, break that pattern. Breaking of the pattern has to be done. Actually, you can take action. I took it in my life, and believe me, the life changed. And today I tell my daughter the same thing, that if you see in me anything, which is not really vibing with you, kindly move on. Do not imitate me blindly. So that's the kind of freedom we need to give to the future generation. And I think we, as the modern women and men also, I include them also, that we have a choice. And it's about the consciousness. So, what is it that is going to trigger that change in you? I became a healer because of that, because I realized I need to heal myself first. Then only I can heal others. That's how my journey began in the, as a healer. And yes, it's very easy to, show compassion for others. We as healers also, sometimes we are told, oh, Shivali, you could heal that person very easily. Why is it that, when it comes to me, I take some time? As Aliki pointed out a little while earlier, because I'm too close to it. I don't get the objectivity. I'm too subjectively involved in it. But if I can make a choice, it can happen, and it does happen. That's the ray of hope I can give. It does happen. It's our choice that we make.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing. And as you said, it's really choice, but I believe that their awareness also matters a lot. Like, I have the awareness, Aliki has the awareness, you have the awareness. So might be we're thinking that pattern, but somewhere where people don't have the awareness, they live in the same pattern. They don't know what to do with that. And yes, there we can work and we can spread the awareness, right? We are doing. Yes, this is what we can. We can't, I don't think we can change the lives of people and we can make totally 190-degree. We can do one thing, and that one thing is that we can raise the awareness. We can spread it as much as we can. Because if you have the awareness, right now I seeing my mother, she was not, it's another thing is that it's also not the whole life. Sometimes it's just a phase of months, sometimes a phase of year. So somewhere the people who stuck with that and who don't have the awareness, their whole life just like effect just because of one incident. But if you have that, you get improved and you move on. And yes, open your arms. What nature
yes, Asma,
has.
I completely agree with you. Asma, yes, that awareness. The point is we can make a choice, we have a choice till that point, you know. So the awareness, definitely, that awakening, as I said, something will trigger that awareness of yours. I don't know how it will happen, but it happens. So something has to trigger that awareness. So maybe it's a person, like we said, or like you said just now, that we go out, like we go out and spread the awareness. Yes. So likewise, someone comes into our lives and something clicks. The consciousness becomes different. And then the choice is made. And here I can also add, it requires a lot of courage. It requires a lot of courage. Believe me, the society, forget about the outside world. Your own family sometimes doesn't come forward to support you. And you have to be different. I did that. I stood out because that awareness had come, rightly pointed out by you, that enough is enough. Now I step out into my own. I don't hurt anybody. No, I don't hurt. I'm thankful for that experience. But then I moved out. And there are millions like me who have moved out. So that awareness and then the conscious decision, it requires courage actually. So if you are willing to take it, go ahead, things do change.
What do you think, Aliki?
It's difficult to put in words, actually.
But that is a point. What you just said, I'm having trouble putting it into words. The truth of who we are is way beyond the concepts. Our concepts that we have in life will either make us feel really good about ourselves or really bad. And letting go of the concept and allowing ourselves to be who we are, then we become more of who we are and what we've conceptually have been told to be many different things. My dad would have been happy if I had decided to stay as a dental assistant or became a dentist. Not for me, although I did the year in the office that everyone does in our family. So is it the words we speak that's important? Or is it that silence we feel inside that inspires us to action?
Yeah, it was exactly in that direction, actually, what I was thinking about expressing that. Even sometimes having opinions, it doesn't carry the energetics of kindness. Like for me, it would be more of the question, how we have another like 8 minutes in this room, how we could create some kindness for each other instead of talking about it. We don't know each other very well, but that doesn't mean we cannot be kind to each other. So for me, that's more like the question, how do we create it in every single space instead of talking about it?
Does the kindness start from within, or does it start from outside and what people are saying to each other?
For me, if it doesn't translate to action, it's not grounded enough and it's not embodied enough. So if we cannot really be kind in any single occasion, there's something still that I mean, not bad at all. Like concepts come first in the mind and then they start grounding into our awareness. And at some point they just become our second nature. We just are. We don't need to think about it to be, right? It's a process. It's a really process. So for me, it's like, how can we act kindly in every situation? What would that mean?
What does it mean to you?
It doesn't matter what it means, actually. What I would like to, because then we'll go into concepts again. And for me, concepts, yeah, they're fun. They're fun games of our minds. Our minds love to play with each other, right? But yeah, that's kind of just a game. What I would like to express is actually some kindness, like directly. And I can start with Carla because I know you a bit better, right? And I just want to tell you that I really appreciate what you're doing. It takes some guts to get out there and share yourself in a different way from your corner of the world with all types of people that might judge you and might say things and might not say things when you want them to say, and all of these attributes of humans, right? So I just wanted to appreciate you for doing that and for continuing to do that.
We were talking about it earlier in the show before we went on air, that sometimes we feel it's crazy that we keep on doing something. However, if we love what we're doing, it's not that crazy. Huma, you looked like you wanted to say something. Thank you, Aliki.
Thank you, Carla.
Yeah, I was wondering what Aliki said and what Asma said earlier, that Asma said we don't have, many of us don't even have awareness. Maybe people who are talking here, we have awareness, but there are so many of them who don't realize that they are being unkind. And as Aliki said, it becomes their second nature. They did it a lot of times that it became the part of them. And I think that's the most unfortunate moment. I mean, that's the most horrible thing that we do with ourselves and with others. So what we can do, we can pray for them and for ourselves, and we can be conscious all the time, or conscious of all the actions that we are doing. The first step is to identify what's happening. If we caught ourselves being unkind with ourselves and with others, whatever the struggle is, Maybe I'm being too selfish, or maybe I'm too unkind with myself. In either case, I need to identify first. And once I identify what's the problem with me, then accept it. Acceptance is the key. When you accept it, you will come up with a lot of solutions automatically. And then we can give ourselves some targets, some small targets, so small that it's not hard to perform. It should be so small. Like, for example, if I don't feel like going to shopping today and my whole family is going, and I struggle to say no, then give yourself target that this week I'll say no 2 times in very small things that you will not find it hard. Maybe you can invest that time in learning something, in investing on yourself in anything, like maybe play games, do some fun. Like Shivali said, we always have choice. Ask yourself that somebody has handcuffed you. No, nobody did. So ask yourself, is this my choice? Yes, this is. Your mind will automatically say that I have a choice. Then once you start talking with yourself, this self-talk helps. Once you do it, you will get so many answers, and you can, as you said, heal yourself first before healing others. So once you keep identifying, once you when you go through the loop again, identify, give yourself choice, acceptance for yourself and for others. You cannot accept others without accepting yourself. It's always a start from you. So I think these are some of the solutions that we can come up for being kind with ourselves and with others.
Okay. Asma, what do you want to say?
Right now, there are lots of crazy things that are going on in my mind after listening Aliki, and I think we can have a wonderful conversation because there are lots of interesting thoughts she just shared, and I'm feeling, I don't think so. I think she has a crazy mind, which is very good for the world. Yes, I just want to say, it's honestly, it's a process. Everything in a process. As Aliki was saying, can we be kind all the times? And I was thinking, honestly, we can't. I don't think so. We can't be kind all the time. We can't be good all the time. We can't be loved all the time. It's just, I just feel it's just a phase, it's just a process. Man was created, at that time it was uncivilization. So from uncivilized life, he started living to be civilized. So there are lots of concepts came, there are lots of theories become, there are lots of laws came, but yet in nature, there are hardly any law, because it's very difficult to have a law in nature. There are lots of variations. There are enough variations, even to reach at one destination. There are enough variations even in a one thing. We see the flowers, we see human creation. How many fingers? Someone has 5 fingers, someone has 6 fingers, someone has 4 fingers, someone doesn't have fingers. There are lots of variations, and all these variations exist. So it's just a process. It's just a life. Throughout the life, you process through the things. You process through the lots of things. And yes, awareness helps you. If you need knowledge, you need awareness. And for that, we said God actually sent prophets, because humans need guidance to improve themselves. So they need guidance, and guidance is very helpful. So we take the awareness. With the awareness, we improve ourselves day by day. We can't improve at one time, at once. Everything takes time. So yes, if you have the courage, you just need to keep your arms open for every good thing. I love this, that every little thing is here to create something good. Basic, we are some people are privileged because they have basic opportunities, they have all the basic stuff. Some people don't have, so then there is your responsibility to share that. It's your responsibility to spread that. Yes, where we need to be take care of ourselves. We need to be taken this stuff there. We also need to be shared. It's also our responsibility to share this share the stuff in our surroundings, because we all want to make this world a peaceful world. It's a challenge, and it can't happen. It can't happen that every day in this world only the good people exist. This is not possible. Even we are, I might not be good for someone. I might be a villain for someone. Yes, I really love this quote that you might be a villain in someone's life. So that's also probability. But you are hero in someone's life. There you are hero in someone's life. There you are villain in one's else life. So just accept that. Don't judge. The only thing that I'm not focusing. Don't judge a lot. Don't keep the judgments, because I don't feel that nothing stays. Nothing stays for forever. After every time the concept change, after every time the theories get changed, the like hypotheses get changed. So let them allow the new stuff to come and flow with.
Thank you. Shivali, do you have any last words for today?
Well, Asma, I think, has very nicely summed it up, and she's given that small reference to the prophets and the seers, etc. And the topic is living by the golden rule. The point is, we don't want to live by the golden rule. We don't want to. Because if we actually look at whatever has been taught to us, there is a lot of good stuff in it, you know, where we are being asked to look with the, the eyes of love and compassion towards ourselves and towards others. So I think we really need to actually practically put it into, what should I say, into practice. That, it's a choice again we are making. And yes, there is no place for perfection. As human beings, we are not expected to be perfect, but it's about the consciousness. If your consciousness is God consciousness, because I'm a strong believer in God, there could be people who don't. But if you have the God consciousness, if you have the love for God, you will have love for people. I don't say things like, normally people say, no, love for human beings first, then love for God. No, it doesn't happen that way. When you love God, He's our Father, He's created all of us, automatically we love each other. So, love is the key actually to live by the golden rule. Thank you.
Okay, Huma, final words.
It was such a wonderful conversation with all of you, and I concluded with the kindness is directly related to acceptance, right? So once you accept others, you are kind with others. Once you accept yourself, you're kind with yourself. So point number one is being kind. And if you're unkind with yourself, once you identify it, start with small practices and never feel sorry for it. As Shivali said, perfection is not there. It's not exist. It doesn't exist, right? So it's okay. Forgive yourself again and start up again. All the very best.
And that's the whole point. We only have now, and we are going to make mistakes. Who really cares? We are the one who cares about our mistakes, and we don't even care about the mistakes of others, really. So why not be kind to not only ourselves, not only to others, but also to ourselves? And if we don't want to do something, okay, go and do it. You don't need me there. And with that, we have come to another hour of MindPlore. Aliki needed to leave a little early, so I let her. I want to thank Aliki for coming, Huma for being here, Asma a little late, but what can you do when electricity doesn't work? And Shivali. And we will be back again with another panel on Thursday. And I believe we're going to have Cameron Risby here. I don't know who else. And let's wave goodbye and see you Thursday. Bye.
Bye.